Hello, rich people. Welcome back. I'm so glad that I get the opportunity to sit down and talk to you all. So let's hop into it. How did I build my portfolio to 180K by 28? Let's break it down. As we get into this journey of me wanting to retire at 30, because it's been a dream of mine. However, let's talk about how I got here. So it's been a long time coming, quite honestly. Like many other people, I believe that retirement was something that, yes, I wanted to do early, and I didn't necessarily want to work all the way until my 60s. However, I wasn't necessarily sure I was going to get there and what that path was going to look like. So, what I did was get employment. Like, I got a job, and honestly, like, I'm so grateful for the job in the company that I do work at because it definitely helps me grow and develop my finances to where they are today. They also had some things in place that I believe other employers do, contributing to your 401k. So I contribute to my 401k. My employer does offer a match. I get a little confused at remembering how the 401k match works. I do contribute to my 401k up into the match of my employer. So that right there was a huge win for me. And I had a sign on bonus when I joined my company. That sign on bonus was instrumental for sure in helping me get my finances together at the beginning. That was one thing that helped me feel like I was gaining my footing financially, and that was the first time outside of college that I was living alone, so having that safety net, I needed to make sure that I was good because, yes, I was far away from home. Yes, it was 2020, and we didn't necessarily know what was happening with the world. I needed to feel secure in my finances and secure in myself and know that I had a safety net, and that's what that sign-on bonus was for me. So, that was a win, and it helped me start to look at finances differently. That was one of the first times that I saw a large amount of money in my bank account, and I was like, "Yeah. Yeah, I got that." That was the first time that I saw a large amount of money. I printed out that bank statement once I got it, and I posted it in my apartment, and I was like that was one of my manifestations that I wanted to see that amount of money in my bank account consistently and to grow from there. So, it's amazing to think about it right now, a memory that's coming back to me as I'm doing this video, because that was the beginning. That was the beginning, and thinking about it right now, it's like, wow, I'm living the manifestation. I'm living what I thought that I would live back then. So, yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, let's move on. So, another thing is I do have some equity in my company. So, what I will say is some people get RSUs or restricted stock units, some people get equity in their company, and then some people have a stock purchasing plan. All those things are different ways of saying that, but the stock that I have in my company, yeah, that's a large chunk of my portfolio. I've been with my company almost 5 years now, so, yes, it's a large chunk of my portfolio. I remember hearing a story when I first joined my company from one of my coworkers, and they were talking about they knew someone who worked at UPS when they first started, and it was getting their run, and ultimately retired off of their stocks that they got from UPS, and it was like, wow, hearing that as a new person coming into the workforce and who also would have stock in their company, that was something like, wow, yeah, I definitely need to hold on to this and not sell it. And I also would hear stories from coworkers of mine who have been with the company going on 5 to 8 years at that time. They were saying how when they first started, they used to get stock and they would just sell it, and how they're like, "Dang, if I had just held on to that stock then," and that seeing where it was then, but basically in that moment, they were talking about now how much money they would have. That really stuck with me and is one of the main reasons today that I don't sell my stock. So that's a large part of my portfolio and something that I have. I'm heavily invested in crypto. I'm a crypto girly. Like I have a deep attachment to my crypto and to crypto that has utility and use cases and all the things when it comes to crypto. By no means am I like, yeah, let me tell you all this stuff. Like, this is things you need to do with crypto. I'm not there. However, I do my research. I encourage you to do your research and invest in what you feel is worthy of your dollar. I put my money into high yield savings accounts. I do not keep my money anywhere that is not going to make me more money for just sitting there and being utilized. If it's too low, I take it out and I move it around. That money got a job and they need to be working hard. It need to be working just as hard as I do at this 9 to 5. That's how I got my portfolio to 180K. What I'll say when it comes to high yield savings accounts and money market accounts, I personally use Ally, and I'll leave a link in the description if that's something that you kind of want to check out, if you want to start utilizing. However, I've been with Ally, and honestly, I feel like it was one of the best decisions that I could have made because I like that they have buckets. So I use that to help myself budget and see where money is going and knowing what's happening. I'm a heavy credit card user and just paying it off at every time that I get paid. I like to travel, so that's one thing that I use with my credit card in making sure that I get back cash. I had the Capital One Saver card, and then I recently switched over to the Venture card is what I have now. I am working diligently to get the Venture X because I definitely want more perks for using a credit card and traveling because that's my main vice, if you will. I'm very big on tracking my expenses and understanding what am I spending my money on. In this current season, I'm really questioning why I'm spending my money on something that helped me get here and is going to help me get to the next level is truly understanding what I'm spending my money on, why I'm spending my money on something, practicing delayed gratification. So I love to travel and I budget and put money aside for traveling. However, I am now doing a lot of research into traveling to different places and understanding why I want to go to those places and what I want to do when I go there. Yes, I've taken some trips that I did just because it was something to do and to say I've been somewhere, but now I'm looking into like, no, go where you want to go. And if you want to go just because you've seen it on social media, that is okay. But understanding that and recognizing that and being okay with the price that I'm going to spend to do that. So that's something that I do that's helped me get to where I'm at with my finances. When I talk about my employer, I work very hard. Let me rephrase that. I work very smart and I work very strategically and making sure that I'm rated accurately when it comes around to performance rating times and getting promotions with my company. So with that, I increase my salary, but I also, this is the key. Make sure y'all taking notes right here. This is the gem. I also live below my means. 2 years ago, I came back home. 2 years ago, I moved back home. And honestly, I should have moved back home 3 years ago. I was paying $1,800 in rent. I had a beautiful apartment. I absolutely loved it, but I was never there because I was traveling so much that year with work. So I would say I definitely should have moved back home. I definitely should have listened to my mother when she told me to move back home, but I didn't. And yeah, that was a lot of money that honestly was wasted. It wasn't until probably the last 3 months of my lease that I ended up getting a roommate, which was a steal because they paid half of the rent and had the whole place that I was paying $1,800 for. So at the end of it all, like super helpful for sure. But living below my means, getting a roommate, I hadn't had a roommate since college, but yep, got a roommate. And then I also moved back home. And those two things alone helped me shift where my money was going. So instead of going out to expenses, I was able to decrease my expenses and put money into my savings and put money into my portfolio to help me get to where I'm at today. So those were some additional things that helped me. When I talk about some of my investment choices and how I am making sure that my money is working just as hard, if not harder than I am, is through dividends, dividend ETFs and stocks. So I do a lot of research and I use a lot of AI. Use your resources for sure. And I do a lot of YouTube searching to find high dividend stocks and ETFs that will make sure my money's working just as hard as I am. So those things and shifting that towards my portfolio right now are things that are helping me with my account. I have a very high tolerance for risk because I am young and I want to be work optional. I want to retire. But I also recognize the luxury in that and how me doing this now, my risk tolerance is very high. I am not a conservative by any means when it comes to my investment portfolio. So if it's going to make me a good amount of money, I'm going to invest in it. I've invested in treasury bills and I've also have some investment in bonds, which helps balance out my portfolio, but I invest very heavily and very assertively. It's kind of like the outlook on my portfolio because I am young and I know that I can bounce back and I know that time is on my side. If things go well and there's no need for me to bounce back, then hey, I cashed out. So that's kind of what my portfolio and my investment strategy looks like in current state. I'll be honest, you all. I did not contribute to my 401k until I was probably 6 to 8 months into my employment. But I eventually did it, and I'm so grateful that I did. So, a recent setback or lesson learned is a pretty big one. With me focusing on dividend yield, would I choose ETFs or stocks? I did not realize that I needed to go into Fidelity and change the settings to be making sure that any dividends that are paid out to me are reinvested. What was happening is the dividends would be paid out to me in cash. However, I need those to be reinvested. That's a huge lesson learned. Every day I go into the Fidelity website, I learn something new. I am realizing that the app is nice, don't get me wrong, but I'm realizing that the app is a good snapshot view, something quick to look at while I'm on the go. But I need to be on the website. I need to be utilizing my computer. Doing it on the mobile device isn't cutting it for me. I need to be at a laptop or a desktop when I'm looking at Fidelity and looking at those investments. I need to lock in. So that I would say is a lesson learned. Another lesson learned, I kind of talked about this earlier, but making sure that if my money is being held anywhere, it needs to be making money. Even with my crypto investments are staked. So that way I'm getting some type of income back from that. My checking account generate money off of money being in my checking account with Ally. Money that's in my savings account, like my emergency fund, I generate income off of it. I got a little separate account, another extra layer of a safety net. That money's in a CD working because I don't need access to it. Treasury bills. I invest in treasury bills and I don't necessarily need the money right now. It's a safety net for me. So let me put it to work so I can get some income back from it. That's a lesson learned because before I would just kind of like have money sitting and it's just like, well, this money should probably be somewhere. But I, at the time, was concerned about putting money in the stock market. I did have a fear of, oh, the stock market could go down. Once I did more research into that and realized that I could put money into dividend yielding ETFs or stocks that can get me more money just for holding them. I could put my money into ETFs that gives me a basket of stocks that simulate the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones and things like that. Oh yeah, let me get into that because I don't necessarily need to go out here and purchase the Teslas, the Apples, the Amazon, the Googles of the world, but I can purchase one thing like that as a basket and it gets going for me. I need that. I want that. Yes, absolutely. So those are some lessons that I learned along the way that helped shape my journey, and I am still learning. Being in my early 20s, something that I wish I had done was take action and do the things that I know I needed to do, even if it was something small like investing $10, $20, $50, whatever I could afford at the time. I wish I would have done that and I would have taken the leap and not necessarily been like, oh, I'll do it one day and I'll do it tomorrow or I'll do it next week or next month or next year because now I'm here and I think I would have been further along had I just started. There is so many people out here that talk about their journey and how they started and how they wish they would have started earlier. Quite funny how I'm now here saying I wish I would have started earlier, but I'm just so grateful that I started when I did. And I cannot denigrate or disregard the steps that I took to get here because honestly, it got me here and I'm just so grateful. Another thing is that I work very hard on my mindset and my relationship with money. I understand that money wants to be near me. And I say that to myself. Money loves me. Money wants to be near me. Money wants to be close to me. It's not hard to make money, and having money is not a bad thing, and that I could spend my money wisely. Anytime that I spend money, I know it's going to come back to me tenfold. So those are some of the things that I say to myself and that I work on when it comes to money, my psychology with money, and my mindset around money. That's a big part of this. And going through this journey and is something that I'm working on as well. I'm believing that I can make this money and that I will hit those goals and that I will do the things that I say that I'm going to do when it comes to my finances. The mindset around money and what you believe that you deserve when it comes to money, I continuously work on it daily. Those are the lesson learned. Those are some of the things that I did to get here to where my portfolio is at 180K. Yay. And honestly, my midpoint is 250K. And to see that I am so close, yeah, I'm very, very, very close. It just makes me so excited. Like, I really did it. I really did it. Even though my goal by the end of this year is to be at 500K, and then I have to make that more actionable and attainable for me by breaking it down into smaller goals. So to know that I'm at 180 and my midway goal is 250 and I'm almost there, like, girl. Oh my God. A financial girl. Look at me doing what I need to do. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of me. I hope that you all feel that excitement to know that you too can do this. I believe in you just as much as you believe in me and you are on this journey with me. I believe in you and I'm on this journey with you. So that's what I have. That's how I got to 180K when it comes to my investments. Don't forget to subscribe to see as I go through this journey. I am so excited to share with you all, and I am so excited for you all to come on this journey with me, for us to do this together. 180K to 500K, and then going from 500K to 1 million. Alrighty, don't forget, subscribe, like, follow, and I will see you all next time.